Two spots just opened up on our reverse 2.5-day trip out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro on the beautiful Apollo. This has epic trip written all over it. Seabass, halibut, bluefin tuna. Just send me a text if you'd like to become part of this magnificent trip. 657-227-6459. We depart 10 a.m. on June the 2nd, return 7 p.m. June the 4th. Once again, epic trip awaits you. Send me a text before it's too late. 3 beautiful custom rail rods will be given away on Monday, May the 19th on Tackle Shop Confessions Live. And you can win one of these gorgeous rods for only $5. You can get into this great raffle and win one of 3 beautiful rail rods that are going to go out to some lucky people this Monday night live on Tackle Shop Confessions. All you have to do is contact Chuck Zimmer from Z Custom Rods, and Chuck will enroll you and give you the chance at a win for a lifetime. Beautiful custom rods. Make sure you text or call Chuck at 310-918-1448. That's this Monday night on Tackle Shop Confessions with Friedman Adventures, the chance of a lifetime. Only $5 to enter. Call Chuck now. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to an absolutely gorgeous Sunday morning. So great to have you here with us all as I get ready for the MB. And man, there's a lot to talk about. We've got the latest from the Bluefin Tuna Zone. Man, there are some big fish biting. There was a daytime signal the other day. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go south of the border and see what our friends are doing in Mexico Lindo. Find out how that's going. We just had 2 spots open up on our reverse 2.5-day trip on board the Apollo, leaving June 2nd at 10 a.m. from 22nd Street Landing. That has epic trip written all over it. You want some information? 657-227-6459. And over $2,000 in rail rods raffled off tomorrow night live on Tackle Shop Confessions. Don't delay. You're going to miss it. Make sure you contact Chuck Zimmer right away. We've got white sea bass in the Channel Islands. We've got the surf. We've got so much more as I'm starting to fall down in the water. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to try to save myself and be right back. You know what's coming up next? Yeah, it's the MB. I'll be right back with more.
Good morning, coming to you live from the Mission Bell Mafia Charter. You know what time it is. It is time for the Morning Briefing with Bill Friedman. Woo!
It is truly a great morning, and what an intro! Tyler Tanaka and his lovely daughter, Anna, who experienced her first offshore fishing trip on board the Mission Bell with the Mission Bell Mafia. What a great intro to the Morning Briefing. I can't thank you enough, Tyler and Anna, and all of you for joining us. If you don't mind, hit that like button. It means the world to us. Also, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And we're also full bore over there on Facebook. 2 million views combined Facebook and Instagram and TikTok in the last 28 days. Appreciate all the support there. You can catch us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm going to do it anyway because I got my coffee here. You know what time it is. It's time for the Morning Briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, is that good? What a great morning. I mean, no wind at all, but that belies what is going on offshore and up north. It's pretty breezy here this morning. Also, we're going to get into all of that with you because there is so much to talk about. Let's go south of the border first of all and let you know that Paulina is down there in San Quintin, Baja California. My co-host when I'm in Mexico, Paulina Varela, and she is down there trying to make it happen in a tournament. We'll get an update from her a little bit later, hopefully before the MB is finished up. I'll come back in post-production and let you know how she did. If not, maybe later today. But we're watching San Quintin where there's been good whitefish, sheephead, rockfish. The surface bite down there has been off. There's been occasional flurries of yellowtail and an occasional big halibut, but it's a little breezy offshore for that bluefin tuna. We'll see how the girls did. It was a ladies tournament down there in San Quintin. Up there in Ensenada, we see an occasional flurry of barracuda. We see those big bonito. They're still around providing great action down there in Ensenada, but it's primarily rockfish, as you can see there, blackfin sport fishing with our dear friend Victor and the great folks at Blackfin Sport Fishing located out there on Punta Banda. Also, as we get you up, just 15-minute drive south of Rosarito Beach, you have a little fishing port called Popotla, and our friend Carlos Cortez was out fishing bonito and rockfish. He did really, really well on all of that. We are, however, keeping our fingers crossed that after this wind goes through, we're going to see some bluefin tuna down there in that neck of the woods. We are watching that for you very, very closely. Speaking of the Coronado Islands and Tyler Tanaka, man, what a great trip they had fishing on their way to the islands. They ran into that big bonito, and they had an absolute ball with it, catching just under 100 fish. It was a great trip, and it was Anna's first, that's Tyler's daughter, as I mentioned, her first offshore trip, and he said she did fantastic, had a great time. You also see her, Anna, with a whitefish. She did fantastic. They had a lot of fun. You know, that's one thing they have on every single one of those trips with the Mission Bell Mafia. They have limits of fun on every single trip. It was almost like albacore fishing on that trip. They put the feathers back behind the boat, and wham, those big bonehead would jump on it. They pull them back, throw some bait, and have a little bait fun with those bonitos. So that is really great stuff. Hopefully, we're going to see those yellows show up to the Coronado Islands here very, very soon. We're watching that very closely for you all. Also, as we take a look now at our bluefin tuna situation, man, I am loving what we are seeing. We've had a daytime bite here recently, which I'll talk about in a moment. We've had big bluefin tuna showing up at night, and I mean really big grade, and a lot of them. And all of this in what has to be described as less than optimum conditions. The Pacific Voyager, our friend Isaac Parcell and his son Ethan are on board out there. I just talked to Max, had 24 bluefin tuna, 5 over the 100-pound mark. You can't beat that. And both Isaac and Ethan got a bluefin. They said about 60 pounders. So happy for our Friedman Adventure family members. Isaac, he's a great father, and Ethan really has taken to the great sport of sport fishing that we all love so much. So hopefully we're going to see more and more of that bluefin tuna. And I like that daytime signal. After we get through this blow, which I'm going to talk about right now, after we get through it, I think you're going to see now we transition into a better daytime bite, and we have the nighttime fishing also. So that is all really, really great news. Pacific Queen, 59 on the big bluefin tuna, 35 in the 100 to 180 pound class. Polaris Supreme with 60 bluefin tuna. Nice hit for them. Several boats with really, really great fishing. As a couple of fishermen, pescadores, we wish them suerte. Hoy, suerte, hermanos. All right, a couple guys going fishing here this morning, and they're going to go down by the jetty and hopefully make it happen. Now, let's talk about that legend daytime fish. Wasn't wide open by any stretch of the imagination. A few fish on the fly line, some sinker rig fish. Also, you had to wait for a while. You didn't fly line a bait and instantly get bit. Same thing on the sinker rig. You kind of had to hang in there for a while. And while it wasn't wide open, it's the first really good daytime signal other than a while back on the Independence that we have seen. And I love it because the deeper we get into spring and then ultimately into summer, you will not only see nighttime fishing, but you'll see daytime bluefin tuna fishing, and that is all fantastic stuff. That's why that Apollo trip reverse 2.5 day trip we have out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro with 2 openings. Somebody's going to snatch those up really, really fast, but that's why that has epic trick written all over it. Not only because of the bluefin, but that sea bass and halibut. We could conceivably go up to the north and catch a bunch of that halibut and white sea bass and be out fishing for bluefin tuna on our subsequent days. That's going to be a great trip. I hope you'll be one of the lucky people who jump on board. So the bluefin tuna bite, big fish at night. Now, what happened last night? Most of the guys, I didn't talk to anybody who was going to hang in there. This is out there, west of the Butterfly Bank, 80, 90 miles from Point Loomis where they were fishing, and that area is susceptible to weather. You get a blow out there and there's nowhere to hide. It gets really nasty out there, and everybody I talked to hightailed it out of there and got out of the zone. They're going to let it blow and then come down, and it's going to come down right now. It's going to be a nice day tomorrow. There'll be a residual swell. We'll have to see what happened to our water temperatures. We'll have to see if it has a adverse effect on the bite. I can tell you that we've seen some weather this year, and the boys get out immediately after and start catching again. So I'm hopeful that bluefin's going to bite well. Talking about what's working well, whenever you're fishing that daytime fish, in many cases, especially when you're fly line, you've got to drop down to lighter fluorocarbon. Drop down to as light as it's necessary to get a bite, but not too light that you don't stand a chance. So you're going to have to feel that out. And the best way to do that is talk to a crew member. You can overcome a little bit heavier fluorocarbon by choosing a really good hot bait. That makes all the difference in the world. And a smaller blacktail hook, like a number 6 in some cases, works really, really well. But remember, the longer you're on them, the longer you're on a bluefin tuna, the more likely it is something bad is going to happen to you, like one of those little devils chewing through the line. So keep that in mind. All right, great signal on the bluefin. Not much last night because of weather. We'll see where we go from here, but I like what we're seeing with that daytime signal and those big fish biting at night. This water is very, very warm here in the surf. It feels 61, 62, and that is absolutely great news for the surf fishing bite. So we'll keep our eyes on it for you very, very closely. Up and down the Southern California coast, 1/2 and 3/4 day boats, sculpin, rockfish, that's been the name of the game. Yes, there's some bass biting down there around Dana Point, and at times it's full speed on the short calicos, so the action's good, and we do see the occasional halibut along the coast, but just about everybody like the Monte Carlo are fishing shallow water rockfish, and sculpin is doing really good and providing excellent table fare for the anglers who go out. It doesn't look that bad here locally, as you can look out there and see, so hopefully those boys will be able to get out and do some good. I know the El Patron is on their way to Catalina Island. We had such a great trip. I hope you checked that video out. We had a really great time with a great group of people on the El Patron. She runs out of Long Beach sport fishing 5 a.m. every morning, Catalina Island bound. It's a great boat, great crew, and a lot of fun. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. It's been mostly over there at Catalina Island rockfish, but we did have one barracuda. We caught a lot of short calico bass. It does act like it's ready to go on the surface bite. I mean, just a few days ago, they had 67-degree water at Catalina Island. When we were there down to the east, 64-degree water, up to the west, 61. That's still okay, so hopefully that's going to come together. Over there at San Clemente Island, our dear friend Furman Ramirez, he was on board the Fury yesterday, and he said Captain Marcus worked his fingers to the bone, trying all kinds of different stuff. He said they started out drifting for halibut. They had 3 halibut, one of those fish pushing 20 pounds. Then they made a move, and they just had great fishing on the rockfish. Excellent fishing for Furman and the people on board. He said then they made a move and came in and found wide open bonito. Really, really good stuff. They got flashed by the yellowtail, got 2 yellows on the boat. He couldn't say enough about the crew on the Fury out of Dana Wharf sport fishing. There's Furman's catch right there, mixed bag of rockfish and bonito. Nothing wrong with that day's fishing. That was really excellent fishing. All right, let's take a look at the Channel Islands. I gotta tell you, that sea bass and halibut fishing up there is absolutely spectacular right now. It can't get any better than it is. And all of this with less than optimum conditions. Right now, it's pretty windy out there, but I've already heard some guys scratching at the white sea bass before I came down here. If I hear anything in post-production, I'll add it in to the morning briefing, but I love what I was hearing this morning. It is still very, very windy and going to be very difficult to fish some of those sea bass spots, so it may dip on us here today, but it has been really a bite that's been spectacular for weeks now, where limits of white sea bass have been commonplace. That is one white sea bass per angler. They have to be 28 inches in length. And the halibut fishing right along with it has been spectacular also. It has been really, really good. Yesterday, another guy that I absolutely love and admire, is a great dad and does so much for us here at Friedman Adventures, is Rael de la Cruz. Israel was out on the Seabiscuit, and he had nothing but great things to say about their crew on the Seabiscuit. He got to spend some really precious moments with his brother and nephew. Limits of white sea bass for the Seabiscuit yesterday. They had a great trip. I believe they had 17 halibut to go along with it. So another fantastic day on board the Mirage. 21 anglers, 6 halibut, 17 white sea bass. Over on the Aloha Spirit, 16 guys with 8 white sea bass. And of course, those guys are also catching a lot of rockfish and lingcod and so much more. The Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing, he's a half-day boat, but really they fish a lot longer than that. It's Daniel Hadaway, the captain, will put in a hard day every single day. And man, he did it yesterday. They ended up on the Island Spirit catching a halibut, 7 lingcod, and a ton of rockfish. And today is Kids Fish Free Day on board the Island Spirit. On Wednesdays, they focus solely on halibut, and they get the job done. If you want to go with them, VenturaSportFishing.com, or call them 805-676-3474. I mentioned Paulina, my co-host in Mexico. She's coming up with her lovely mother, Berenice, and we're all going to be on board the Island Spirit on May the 30th. That is going to be a lot of fun, with, I'm sure, some claw game wars after the trip at somewhere, an undisclosed location in Ventura, where the United States and Mexico will go at it again. USA, Paulina, Mexico, Claw Machine Wars, Part 14, or whatever it is right now. It should be really a lot of fun. So we got a lot of great things going on right now, as you can hear. Now, let's also focus on the Southern California surf. Man, these pools of water, it looks so good for a Corbina to be swimming through here right now. I love what I'm seeing. And I'm showing you this right now to just illustrate how shallow a water you can find Corbina in on a regular basis. You may not find them here, but offshore a little bit further, you can certainly find some Corbina. Water's warm enough for that, so we're definitely headed in the right direction. Down there, Bolsa Chica, mostly perch. It has not been wide open. It's been a little bit slower. Same thing here. I know a lot of guys who worked in here yesterday came up with very little. There is the occasional halibut. We're just finishing up a grunion run in Southern California. That is good news up there around the Topaz Rocks area. A few yellowfin croakers, occasional halibut there. Jeff Perea, who's a great source and a great human being. He was up in Ventura fishing yesterday. He had only one perch. He said the water didn't look right. It was kind of off color, and the water temperatures weren't right, and he had only one perch. And guess what he said? Had the best time of his life, because he was fishing with his kids and grandkids. And that's the kind of guy we love. Jeff, great report. We need to know when it's not biting as well as when it is biting, and you hit it the nail right on the head when you talk about fishing with family and friends, and how that is probably the most important thing about sport fishing, no doubt about it. Speaking of the Southern California surf, you can't beat Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. Right down there, a 10-minute walk from where I'm standing, you can find all your surf fishing gear and bait and so much more. And they've got all your bluefin and yellowtail. They've got it all. Big Fish Bait and Tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. Keep them in mind. Don't forget, big raffle tomorrow night. Tackle Shop Confessions. That is our live show that we do every Monday night at 6 p.m. We'll be at Island Fishing Tackle in beautiful Carson, California. If you want to come into the store and buy a ticket, you're certainly welcome to do that. I'd show up around 5 o'clock in the evening and you'll be able to purchase a ticket, and you could do that up until, I don't know, 7 probably. 7, we'll let you in and you can come in and see Chuck and buy a ticket. But the best way to do it is to contact Chuck. Just send him a text today and he'll get back to you. You can Venmo, you can Zelle, you can win one of 3 gorgeous, beautiful rail rods for only $5. Man, you're crazy if you don't try it. And don't forget that Friedman Adventures Apollo Reverse 2.5-day trip, June the 2nd, 10 a.m. departure from 22nd Street Landing. We return June the 4th at 7 p.m. That has got epic trip. We had a great one last year. This one's going to be better. The way it looks to me, it's going to be better. Send me a text if you'd like to be a part of that, 657-227-6459. A lot of great stuff going on. Love what's going on with the Bluefin. Yeah, I mean, it's weathered up right now. Can't fish it, but that comes down tomorrow. I love that bite up there in the Channel Islands. That's been absolutely fantastic. The El Patron headed out again, headed for Catalina Island, and the Island Spirit doing their thing up there at Ventura. You can't beat it. Once again, what a great intro from Tyler and Anna. We really appreciate that. Have a beautiful Sunday, my friends. It certainly is a gorgeous day to come down here and fish the surf or go for a walk, go for a hike in the mountains. The most important thing is you'll walk out the front door and experience this blessing for yourselves. Take care. Have a great one. And I hope to see you really, really soon.